In this video, we're going to talk about constructors in Solidity. A constructor is a special function that runs only once at deployment time. It is used to set the initial state of your contract before anyone starts interacting with it. This is where you usually set important values like owner addresses, token metadata, initial supply, or configuration parameters. A constructor uses the constructor keyword and has no function name. In this example, the deployer passes the initial message and the contract stores message sender as owner. During deployment, message sender is the account or contract that deploys the contract. One important modern Solidity detail: constructors do not use visibility keywords like public or internal. Constructors can receive parameters just like normal functions. Those values are provided when the contract is deployed. For simplicity, this example only stores the values. A real token contract would usually mint or distribute the initial supply as well. After deployment, those values become part of contract state. When inheritance is involved, parent constructors must also be initialized. Here, the child constructor forwards parent value to parent value. Parent constructors execute before child constructors. You can also pass fixed arguments directly in the inheritance list when appropriate. Each contract can have only one constructor. Unlike regular functions, constructors cannot be overloaded, so you cannot create multiple constructor versions with different parameters. If you need different deployment configurations, you usually solve that by passing parameters, by deploying through a factory, or by using separate contract variants. Also remember, constructor logic runs only once. After deployment, it cannot run again. A very common pattern is setting ownership during deployment. Another common pattern is setting start and end times. You'll also see constructors used to initialize admin lists, addresses of external contracts, and immutable configuration values. Immutable variables can only be assigned during declaration or inside the constructor. Keep constructors simple and focused on initialization. Validate critical input parameters, because bad deployment values may be impossible to fix later. Avoid heavy loops in constructors since deployment gas can become very high. A constructor that exceeds the block gas limit will prevent the contract from being deployed. Avoid making external calls from constructors whenever possible. And clearly document required deployment parameters so there is no confusion at deploy time. Constructors are the first step in your contract's lifecycle. They define the initial setup and security posture of the contract from day one. If constructor design is clean, deployment is safer and the rest of the contract logic becomes easier to trust. So the practical rule is simple. Initialize only what is necessary, validate what matters, and keep constructor logic clear and predictable.